Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're talking all about resilience. Now, a lot of us think of it as this thing you're either born with or you're not, right? But it turns out it's actually a practical, learnable skill set that helps us navigate, well, life. So let's dive into how you can actually build it.
You know those days, right? Some tiny thing goes wrong, and bam, suddenly you feel completely overwhelmed, maybe anxious, or you just kind of shut down. If that sounds even a little familiar, you are definitely in the right place. What we're about to cover could be a total game changer for you.
So, resilience is a word that gets thrown around all the time. But it means so much more than just being tough or bouncing back after a hard time. It's actually a much more active, dynamic process than that.
I really like this definition from child psychologist Dr. Lauren Henry. She calls it multi-systemic. What does that mean? It means it involves our mind, our body, and our social connections, all of them working together. See, it's not just a mindset. It's about our entire system's ability to adapt and cope.
Okay, so to really get how resilience works in the moment, we need a sort of mental map. And honestly, the best one I've found is called the window of tolerance. It's an amazing way to understand why we react to stress in the ways that we do.
Dr. Dan Siegel came up with this concept, and it's basically your sweet spot. When you're inside this window, you can handle the ups and downs of life. Yeah, you might feel stress, but it doesn't totally derail you. You feel present, grounded, and pretty much in control. But what happens when stress pushes us outside of that window? Well, we get dysregulated. We can fly up into what's called hyperarousal, that's that stuck-on feeling of fight or flight where we're anxious or angry, or we can drop way down into hypoarousal, that stuck-off feeling of being numb, frozen, or just completely zoned out.
And here's something that's so crucial to understand. This window isn't the same size for everybody. Things like past trauma or just long-term chronic stress can actually shrink your window. That makes it way, way easier to get pushed into that stuck-on or stuck-off state by even really minor things.
So where does this ability to stay inside our window even come from? I mean, this capacity for self-regulation, we're not born with it. It's a skill we have to build, and the foundation gets laid way back in early childhood.
We learn to manage our own feelings because when we were little, someone else helped us manage them first. That whole process, it's called co-regulation, and it is, without a doubt, the absolute foundation of resilience.
And this image, wow, it just illustrates the three key ingredients perfectly. It's not just one thing, right? It's this magic combination of a warm relationship, a structured environment, and actually teaching those self-regulation skills. Let's take a quick look at each one. You can almost think of it like building a house. The warm, responsive relationship, that's the foundation of safety. The predictable, structured environment, those are the stable walls that keep the chaos out. And the active coaching and teaching, well, that's like getting the tools and the instructions to build the rest of the house yourself. Okay, so you might be thinking, great, this is all about childhood. What about me, right now, as an adult? Well, here's the good news. It is never too late. The exact same principles apply. We can learn to build these pillars for ourselves and strengthen them with the people in our lives. In fact, research from Children's Hospital Colorado boils a resilient skill set down to these three core features: active coping, self-efficacy, and social support. Let's break those down. First up, active coping. This just means facing discomfort instead of running away from it. You know, avoiding a tough situation feels safer in the moment, but it also robs us of the chance to prove to ourselves that we can handle hard things. The secret isn't to tackle the whole mountain at once. It's about taking small, manageable steps. And every single time you practice active coping, you build up that second pillar, self-efficacy. I absolutely love this quote. Self-efficacy is that deep-down belief in yourself, and it's built on a bank of cold, hard evidence from your past successes. And hey, want a super simple way to build this in other people? Remember the 5-to-1 rule. Whether it's with your kids, your partner, or a colleague at work, if you aim for 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative one, you're actively building their confidence and their belief that they can succeed. And finally, the third piece of the puzzle, social support. Just knowing you belong, knowing you have people you can count on, that is such a powerful buffer against stress. It literally widens our window of tolerance because we know we don't have to face life's challenges all alone. All right, let's get practical. We've talked a lot about the what and the why of resilience. Now for the how. I've got 2 simple, science-backed tools you can start using today to widen your own window of tolerance.
First, a tool for your body. The next time you feel that stress and anxiety creeping up, that hyperarousal feeling, you can actually manually hit the brakes on your nervous system's alarm with something called the physiological sigh.
Research that's been popularized by the Humerman Lab shows this is the fastest known way to calm down. Here's how you do it. You take a deep inhale through your nose. Then at the very top, you sneak in another little sip of air, and then you let it all go with a long, slow exhale through your mouth. That double inhale pops open the tiny air sacs in your lungs, and the long exhale tells your brain, hey, we're safe. Time to chill out.
Okay, next up, a tool for your mind. Sometimes our suffering doesn't come from a situation itself, but from our endless fight against a reality that we just can't change. And that is where radical acceptance comes in.
Radical acceptance means fully, and I mean fully, acknowledging reality exactly as it is, without judging it. The process is simple, but it's not easy. First, you identify what it is you're fighting. Then you list the objective, undeniable facts. Then you let yourself feel whatever comes up without resisting it. And only then, once you've stopped wasting all that energy fighting what you can't change, can you make a clear plan to improve what you can control.
So at the end of the day, let's be really clear. Resilience is not about creating a life with no stress. I mean, that's impossible. It's about intentionally building your capacity to manage that stress, to stay within your window of tolerance, and to move through challenges effectively.
And that leaves me with one final question for you. Think about it. What is one small, truly manageable challenge you can face this week? Just one little piece of active coping you can practice to add a little more evidence to that bank of self-efficacy. Because that, right there, is where the real work begins. Thanks for joining me.